You like cartoons? Yeah, I like cartoons too. Do you really like cartoons?
Baby. Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about fandoms out there, I hate using that word, I hate that word.
It makes me want to vom.
There will be people who take the setting of a cartoon a little too seriously, thinking things a little too deeply maybe. They come up with some bullshit theory. Bikini Bottom is the result of nuclear testing? The Bikini Bottom is aptly named due to its location at the bottom of the Bikini Atoll. The Bikini Atoll is an atoll in the Marshall Islands. Between 1946 and 1958, more than 20 nuclear devices were detonated in this area, including bombs that were detonated underwater. The characters in SpongeBob SquarePants aren't a bunch of goofy little creatures, but rather a bunch of mutated freaks. Fallout 5, Bikini Bottom. Oh, that shit not lit. Dexter in Dexter's laboratory has Asperger's syndrome. According to this theory from TV tropes, Dexter's life isn't as cool as it looks, since he suffers from Asperger's syndrome, but, you know, so do half of the My Little Ponies. The previous editor did not elaborate much on this, but it actually makes a lot of sense the more you think about it. In fact, it could be that Dex has Asperger's or some sort of low to mid-level autism. The whole show was actually from his perspective. The characterization is all true, but everyone is suffering from character exaggeration because that's how Dexter thinks of them. Suddenly, some of the show's quirks seem more reasonable. Dee Dee's characterization is switching from a hyperactive little girl to an elitist snob. Watch any episode about fashion. Is because he just does not get girls. This is probably why his most recurring bullies were a pair of girls. His mom isn't actually that big of a mood swinger. Dexter just doesn't know when he's pissing her off. And his dad just has to be less bumbling than that. Why can't you just let a cartoon be a cartoon? Cartoons are full of wacky characterizations. Charlie Brown is dying of cancer. Oh my lord. My personal explanation for why Charlie Brown in Peanuts is bald is he's dying of cancer and dreaming up everything. In the strip, nothing ever works out for him, and his life is a disaster, but he's simply channeling his sadness into his dreams. Oh my lord, we're digging deeper. The Rugrats Angelica is the only one who can talk to the babies because they're a figment of her imagination. She's spoiled, sad, and lonely because her mother is constantly working and has no time for her. Tommy died soon after childbirth, a fact reflected by Stu never leaving the basement, inventing toys that his son will never play with. Chucky died in the car crash along with his mom, also reflected in the actions of his father. The crash has made him a pathetic nervous wreck most of the time. Most interesting is Phil and Lil. There never were any twins, it was just one baby. However, this baby was a stillborn, and Angelica never knew the sex of the stillborn, so she invented twins of different genders. I don't think that's what the creators were going for. Doug Funny is a delusional racist who sees skin in weird colors. I'm gonna have to rack my brain on that one a little bit, just have it stew, you know, just a little bit. Yeah, no, it's just the aspect of design, my dude. I see it as a way to make the characters stand out more. You know, you had Roger, you had Skeeter, BB Bluff, Mr. Dink, you know, Connie Bench. They're like green, blue, purple. I think it was just a design idea to make them stand out more. I don't think this had anything to do with making the main character a racist. The godparents and the Fairly Odd Parents are metaphors for the antidepressant medications Zoloft and Prozac. Now, as you will see in just a moment, this one's reaching a little bit, you know? Like pills, the fairy godparents are only around when Timmy needs them, and like pills, they help him cope with stress and anxiety. There's also the fact that trouble goes down anytime Timmy abuses the magic or abuses prescription medication. You be the judge. I mean, comparing Cosmo and Wanda to Zoloft and Prozac are some steep stretches. I mean, it's about a kid who has the foundation to create a perfect life. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so the Ed, Edd n Eddy purgatory theory. The gist of it is that the kids who inhabit the cul-de-sac are actually dead, and that the lives they lead actually take place in a purgatory-like setting. Theory points to the facts such as the children's green or blue tongues. The tongues do in fact turn a bluish shade when you die. I mean, look, Rolf has a pinkish tongue, Kevin has a pinkish tongue. I thought they were supposed to be died. Okay, so Rolf arrived first in the 1900s. He died in 1903 when his family's farm animals stampeded and trampled him. Johnny came to the cul-de-sac not too long after Rolf. He died in 1922 after fighting a long battle with tuberculosis. Okay, so like Eddie drowned and Sarah died in a freak car accident. The list goes on and on. These theories are just fucking ridiculous. The thing about some of these fan theories is that some of the rabid fans try to, do some mental gymnastics to make it canon in their head because they like the idea of a macabre backstory to their favorite show. And no, I'm not saying fans shouldn't have fun with their favorite shows, but sometimes people just kind of shit themselves over something like this and it's taken a little too seriously. Will the creators of these shows have something this twisted in mind all the time? I don't know, let me know what you think. And with that, I'm going to bed. Get the fuck out of my room.